The 1950s was a watershed decade for our university. In the early years of the decade, the first buildings began to appear on the new campus near the Hamden Line. Irma Peltz Gymnasium, a power plant, and an administrative and classroom building that would later be named Engelman Hall. By the mid-50s, residence halls had been added, and with a post-war baby boom creating an insatiable demand for teachers, there were endless professional opportunities for our graduates. There was also a growing movement to have the 4 state teachers' colleges offer a more comprehensive education to Connecticut's residents. And after several years of wrangling at the state level, the General Assembly finally ruled in 1959 that the 4 schools should offer programs of study leading to bachelor's degrees in academic fields, in addition to their teacher training curriculum. That year, New Haven State Teachers College became Southern Connecticut State College, and a new era in public higher education was begun. Also new during the 50s was the addition of varsity athletics for women. In its infancy, the program was on a small and limited scale, but these first female athletes paved a path for future generations to follow. Let's hear now from an alumna who was a member of our first and undefeated women's basketball team, counting UConn among their vanquished opponents. Jeannette Palluzzi, class of '55.
I'm going to start off with having you show me your bracelet and telling me about that.
My bracelet is an owl given to me by my grandson who graduated from Southern last year.
And what did he tell you about it when he gave it to you?
He said, "Grandma, we're owls and we'll always be owls." We love Southern. It's just amazing to see it now. It is so beautiful and so inspiring. And when we went to school on House Street, it was just a building, a stark building. So we're very proud of it. We're proud of what it's become.
And why did you choose Southern in particular?
I was living in Brazil with my parents, and I wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher, and my parents were willing to let me to come to the United States by myself and live with my brother who lived in West Haven. I had to go to New Haven and then transfer, so it took me probably 45 minutes. There were a lot of men because men in our class were coming from Korea, so they were on the GI Bill. So we had a lot of fun guys.
Where did you meet your husband? Was it while you were at Southern?
It was while I was at Southern.
And how did that come about?
My sister took me to a party, and I met him, and it was love at first sight. I know it sounds corny, but it was sort of, and we've been very happily married, and we have a wonderful life with our children.
You played basketball at Southern and many other things.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we were the PE majors. We were the only players they had, period. So we played everybody, including UConn. We played all the teachers' colleges. We played anybody that would play us. We were unbeatable, as my friend Rose Salone said. We were unbeatable.
What was women's basketball like back then? How did you play?
We were half court. We either played offense or defense.
Okay. Why did you have to play half court?
That was the way women's sports were then. They didn't want to tax us. They wouldn't let us drink water. We could only rinse our mouths out. How things have changed since then. We loved sports and we loved playing. So we didn't look for any accolades. We just looked for have fun, and we loved it. I was on the swim team. I wasn't a swimmer, but I was a body if they needed somebody in a relay, so.
And where did you play the games?
Oh, at Pell's gym.
And what was that like?
That was beautiful. It was the first building that Southern put up there, and so we felt very fortunate that we had our classes there. We did so much to help renovate that whole area. We actually dug up stuff to make way for the new buildings. At Southern, they still have the gate which was at House Street, and we were instrumental in helping that had take place.
You watch Southern women's basketball today, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, how do you feel about today's team?
It's wonderful. Actually, we went and played the Southern girls when we left and realized after one practice we needed to practice more often.
Now tell me a little bit about your teaching career that Southern prepared you for.
The biggest thing I think was my English as a second language. When I did that, it was very challenging. And then for 3 years, and I got my permanent certification, and then I had my 4 sons and I stayed home. And my big night was going out and getting my master's and my degrees at Southern. Leave my husband with my 4 young children. Now I also helped with training other teachers. And recently, we have a lot of people that come out of math background, science background, and they think they're going to become a teacher because it's easy. Teaching is not easy, but you have to like what you do. You have to like students. You really have to enjoy what you do and be hard workers. You have to really work hard. Teaching is such an honored profession, and I want people who love teaching and love the opportunity to teach to have that